Welcome to Your Food Business Success. This podcast is for early stage entrepreneurs in the packaged food industry ready to finally turn that delicious idea into reality. I'm your host, Sari Kimbell. I have guided hundreds of food brand founders to success as an industry expert and business coach, and it's gotta be fun. In this podcast, I share with you mindset tools to become a true entrepreneur and run your business like a boss. Interviews with industry experts to help you understand the business you are actually in, and food founder journeys so you can learn what worked and didn't work and not feel so alone in your own journey. Now let's jump in. Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. All right, my goal here is to keep this short and sweet and give you some immediate action steps, some things that I think if you put it into place are going to start making a big shift in how you show up in your business and your life. So it's a big promise, but I have been doing this strategy recently a lot. And I have been telling anybody who will listen, friends and clients, about this strategy, and it is incredible the results that people are getting in their lives. So, do you hook your future self up? And here's what I mean by that. Like, are you thinking about future you? And it could be just tomorrow, or it could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever in the future. Are you hooking yourself up? And I love thinking about this phrase. Now, today, I'm just going to give you this one strategy as a little taste of what we are doing inside Food Business Success. I have been doing so much work for my own self and doing presentations for other groups around tapping into your future self that I'm going to go ahead and do a special workshop inside Food Business Success. But even if you're not in the program, you can still come to it. And it's just $19 for you to come to this workshop and get more strategies around tapping into your future self. I have just found this to be the most invigorating for me and like re-energizing myself. And it's really just simplified things so much. I'm not overcomplicating my strategies and how do I get to my goal and all the things. It's just made it a lot more fun. So I'm doing a 90-minute workshop, and you can come by going to foodbizsuccess.com/future. And you can get signed up for this workshop. It's on December 14th at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And it does come with the replay. And I'm going to give you a lot more strategies. So this is just a little taste for you, a little nibble, something to get you started and kind of thinking about like, maybe she's onto something with this future self thing. And guess what? I am. So there's this hilarious clip from Seinfeld. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. And you can search for it if you look up like Night Guy Seinfeld. But basically, he's doing a comedy skit, and it's like morning guy hates night guy, right? Night guy is like, hey, let's stay up late. Let's watch another episode. Let's have another drink. Like whatever we do, right? All the things. And then morning guy is like, dang it, I hate night guy. It's so funny how he goes on, right? And then he ultimately wraps it up with like morning guy getting revenge on night guy. But if you think about it like that, think about how we are kind of these split personalities. It's like there's you now, and there's the things that you want to do in the present, and the things you're trying to avoid, or the hard things that you don't want to do. And then there's your future self that's like, hey man, come on, hook me up, right? Like do us a favor, help us out so that we can get to where we want to go, so we can become who we want to be. And I think so much of the time when we think about our future self, we really jump to this like version of ourselves that's so far out there. It's so different than us, right? And it feels intangible. It doesn't feel real or possible. So I want you to just think about your future self, like go a little out into the future. Maybe it's like 6 months from now or a year from now. And I'm going to focus on your business, but here's the cool thing is when you do this for your business, your whole life begins to shift because you can't just do one separate from the other. You're going to have to start showing up differently in your like real life, your personal life, in order for you to do the things that you want to create to do in your business. So go to that future place. Maybe it's that you've launched your business. So if you haven't launched yet, that you have a business, like it is operating. You are taking in money in sales. If you already have a business, I seem to be working with a lot of one-on-one clients right now who we are working on them becoming a person, a business owner who creates $5,000 a month in their salary. Right. So their salary is $60K a year. And so we're working on the belief, but also the strategies around that. So pick something that feels like, yeah, that's possible. Like I could see that happening. Don't just like choose something that's so wild that you can't believe it. And then I want you to start getting in touch. Like just think about who that person is. Like what are they doing? Not doing? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they saying, not saying? Just try to see if you can tap into them a little bit with some emotion. And if you find yourself going to that perfectionist place where like you never miss an appointment and your kids never get into an argument and you always look amazing and never get sick, that's probably a good indication that that is not very realistic because guess what? Wherever you are, wherever you go, you're going to bring yourself with you. And we're just trying to get to like a little better version of you. And you're still human. There's no escape hatch from the human experience, right? Of the 50-50, being disappointed, being let down, being sad, being angry. All of that is part of the human experience, and you don't get rid of that in the future. Sorry to tell you that. So thinking about this future version of you, the one who's launched their business, the one who's making a certain amount of money, maybe it's just that you're bringing in $1,000 a month consistently for you in your pocket, or it's a couple thousand, whatever it is, or maybe you're growing, you want to get to 500,000 in sales or 1 million or more than that. Wherever you're at, just think about 3 things that your future self, like whatever comes to mind right now, 3 things to either do or not do, to stop doing, to think or to stop thinking, or to feel or to stop feeling. So I'm going to give you some examples because they aren't these massive things. Usually they are small, tiny things that you can just start making a shift and where we're going to hook our future self up. Consider for a minute that you have a board of directors for your life and your future self occupies a seat at that board. And your future self is advising you on decisions and how to show up and things to do, say, think, feel, all the things, right? And you have decided, you're like, I have a goal. I want to do XYZ, all the things we've already talked about. And then your future self is just telling you like, hey man, that's awesome. And here's a couple things that would make a really big difference. And here's why I love it, because you're going to start bringing in your personal life, your normal daily life into it. So for example, it could be something around your health, right? That in order for you to show up in your business, you're going to need to be fueling your body a little bit better. You're going to need to be getting more sleep. You're going to need to start incorporating some exercise, some things that are going to make your body feel better so that you can show up in a different way in your business. Or it could be in your relationships, right? Maybe Um, you have some tumultuous relationships with some people. And if you can resolve that, if you can hook your future self up to actually create the results you want in your business by resolving some of that, by doing something kind of challenging or, having to have a conversation, a difficult conversation, or maybe it's like you're just shifting your mindset around that person, or we're letting go of some expectations like, okay, like kids fight sometimes. It's not a big deal, right? Or having more gratitude for your partner or other people in your life. So making some small shifts so that you can show up without all of that negativity and all of that brain space going towards a relationship issue. It could be like setting yourself up for success. And again, this is why I love like the idea of like, I'm hooking my future self up. I say this all the time now. I love Matthew McConaughey's book. He called it, the book was called Green Lights, but he talked about like small things that are setting you up. Green lights, right? Like it's a go. It just makes your life easier. So small things for me that I've been doing are like, I love to cook, right? I kind of make a mess, but I hate doing dishes in the past. That passed me. And so now I am, before I go to bed, almost every night, 90% the time, like a lot of times I would just leave dishes in the sink and like, I'll just do it in the morning. And now I'm like, hey, I'm going to hook my future self up in the morning and I'm going to literally, it usually takes me like 10 minutes or less. But in the moment, I don't want to do it, right? I'm cozy, I'm on the couch or whatever I'm doing. Like, I don't want to do it. It's just easier to go to bed. I'll deal with it in the morning. And I'm like, no, I'm going to hook my future self up. So it could be setting up the coffee maker or cleaning up the kitchen or setting out your clothes for the next day or your workout stuff. It could be not hitting your snooze button as much, or even just like, if you notice like, hey, if I just set my alarm 15 minutes earlier and actually got out of bed, I'd really be hooking my future self up for the rest of the day. So what are some small ways that you could really set yourself up for success? Maybe it's where are you buffering or numbing out? Like, are you just finding yourself like scrolling on social media for too long, endless time? You get lost in a wormhole, or you're watching too much TV, or, buffering can be a lot of things. It could be shopping online or in person. It could be alcohol or smoking or other drugs, right? That take you out of being present. And because we need to be present in order to actually do the hard things in our business. It could be that you need to actually like do the social media posts or write the emails or do the photography or whatever it is. It's like putting it on your calendar and then actually honoring your calendar in the moment, right? And not allowing yourself to buffer, not allowing procrastination or distraction. And so you can see that there's a lot of ways. And I'm just asking you to think about maybe 3. Like, let's not tackle the whole list right now. Let's call it a layering process that you can layer things on. And I certainly have. Like, now I'm just dealing with small little things. Before in my life, I was dealing with much larger things. I was dealing with things like over drinking and not hooking my future self up at all for my life and my business when I'm showing up and not feeling my best the next day. And that's just not a problem for me anymore. I trust myself with that. It could be, that you are going to bed at a certain time. Like, I just need to start heading to bed now by 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., whatever that is for you, so that you're getting the sleep that you need and you're not just buffering with, that one last TV show. So much of what we're dealing with as business owners, as entrepreneurs, is overcoming our primitive brain. I talk about this a lot, that we have a motivational triad, and our brain, we have 2 brains, and our primitive primal lizard brain is like, hey, I'm just trying to seek pleasure. I'm trying to avoid pain, and I'm trying to exert the least amount of energy. So of course, that part of me, that brain part of me, like is like, no, I'll just do the dishes tomorrow. I'm gonna leave that for morning Sari, right? Like night Sari's like, come on, we don't need to do that. And I'm overriding that using this phrase, you know what? I'm gonna hook future Sari up. I'm gonna like make her morning so much easier. And I can tell you that the more I do it, so you just have like to overcome that primal part of your brain a couple of times. And I'll tell you, the more I do it, the easier it gets. I'm like, oh yeah, it only takes a few minutes. I know how amazing I feel in the moment when I get out of bed and I start making my tea and I'm like, oh, look at me. Look at Night Sari. She did the dishes. That was awesome. And I thank her. I'm like, hey, Sari, thank you so much for hooking me up this morning. You are making my mornings so much easier. And it's making me like I'm feeling better and easier to go out and do the hard things. You'll notice that all of these things that I talked about are about doing hard things that require effort and energy and may put us in harm's way and aren't necessarily pleasurable, right? Like posting on your social media or writing up that recipe or going and working out or eating the vegetables and fruits and things that you need, right? It's having the conversations in the relationships or just taking the moments to be like, oh, I'm going to set up the coffee or I'm going to do the dishes or I'm going to start heading to bed now. I do want to offer you a word of caution here for all of my overachievers and perfectionists. It's like, I know you. It can be a little easy to like go overboard with this. I wouldn't know anything about that. Where you're like, let's just take saving for retirement as a great example. So hooking your future self up, which I'm so proud of myself. I have been working with a wealth and financial coach, and we have set up a 401k for me this year. It's the first time. And like, I've been doing this business, a version of this business now going on 7 years. In any case, 6 years maybe. It starts to blur together. But in any case, starting that has been awesome, right? And it can be like, well, I'm not going to do anything fun in my current life because I want to hook my future self up by saving more and more and more. And so we have to balance that, right? Again, we're just kind of going for that like a little bit better, 10% better than what we were doing. And it's going to start compounding on each other. But we don't want to sacrifice enjoyment and pleasure and delight in the present for the future. I know, as a little example, when I was married, my husband like really liked to clean up the dishes right after dinner. And I just felt like there was a sense of loss. And maybe that's why I pushed against like in my own life, like, I don't want to do dishes right away. But I just felt like when we were rushing through and we weren't like savoring the moment and the dinner because he was like so focused on getting the dishes done and, you know, checking that off of the list. So you got to find a balance there where you're still in the present and you're enjoying the moments and you are not necessarily at the expense of your future, if you know what I mean, but like there's a balance there where you're hooking your future self up and you're still enjoying the moment. So be careful that you don't take it too far. Plus, you'll drive the people around you crazy. What are those 3 things that your future self is telling you that you could just get a little bit better, make a little bit of improvement, 10% better, start them this week? I want you to just write that phrase somewhere, repeat it constantly. How can I hook my future self up? All right, that's what I got for you today. I would love for you to join me either in Food Business Success. It's only open for a couple more weeks in 2022, and then it's going to be closed through the end of, like towards the end of January. If you have been thinking about launching your packaged food business or your body care or facial products, I do work with those people a lot as well. this is the perfect time. Or if you want to scale your business next year and go to the next level, start creating that future self and achieving those goals, this is such a great time to get started now. We're going to be doing that future self workshop. We're also going to be getting ready as we wrap up the year, but also looking ahead to goal setting and also doing some work around getting tax ready and just keep on going in your business, right? Like, this is not the time to stop just because we're nearing the end of the year. This is the time to hit the gas. There are still plenty of days left and lots that you can do in this last month of the year. So come join me in Food Business Success, or if you aren't quite ready for that, but you want to check out this Future Self workshop, you can come join me for $19 on December 14th. You also get the replay at foodbizsuccess.com/future. All right, until next time, have an amazing week. The smartest thing you can do as an entrepreneur is to invest in a who to help you with the how, to speed up your journey and help you skip the line. When you are ready for more support and accountability to finally get this thing done, you can work with me in 2 ways. Get me all to yourself with one-on-one business coaching, or join Food Business Success, which includes membership inside Fuel, our community of food business founders that includes monthly live group coaching calls and so much more. It's one of my favorite places to hang out, and I would love to see you there. Go to foodbizsuccess.com to start your journey towards your own food business success.